My name is LaReta Lowther, and I am Vice President of Community Development for WesBanco Bank. And we are a state-chartered bank, and you're in the heart of West Virginia. You're in north central West Virginia. We have a very strong community development program at WesBanco, which is how I got involved actually with a Blueprint Communities project that has done wonders to revitalize several towns. Actually, 10 of them were involved in Blueprint at the beginning. The Blueprint Communities project started out as an initiative of the Federal Home Loan Bank. And Federal Home Loan Banks are basically cooperative banks that do a lot of housing and community development financing. And banks, like community banks, become a member of the Federal Home Loan Bank, and that allows us to take advantage of their programs. One of the requirements of Blueprint Communities through the Federal Home Loan Bank is that it's a team approach, and it's a team approach to doing community revitalization. But on that team, they wanted to ensure that there was a mix of different people from the community, and one of those people they wanted was a banker to bring the financial expertise and to know what programs were available to help with community revitalization, because you can have the passion and you can have the desire, but in the end it comes down to funding, and it comes down to knowing what resources are available for the community to get those projects started. My technical job is that I'm Vice President of CRA Compliance, and CRA means the Community Reinvestment Act. And in my 30 years of banking, I've always been a compliance officer, which means making sure that the bank is complying with the regulations. And I love that type of work. I love the law and I love regulation. So that was primarily what I was fixated on, is doing the technical requirements of the act. Well, being in community development, and especially with the Blueprint Communities, I've had a chance to actually get out and do more community development and be involved. I graduated from a Jesuit university, and the Jesuits teach being a man for others and service for others and doing the greater good. So I knew a part of my life was missing in not getting out and being more involved in that. So I thought this would be a great opportunity, because you cannot do community revitalization. It's very complex, it's very time consuming, and it's very challenging. So if you're going to take those efforts on, you have to be passionate about that. So one of the things I could get passionate about was my hometown, and growing up there and being proud to say that I was from Shinston. And so that's been personally satisfying for me, that I've moved, I guess, from my left brain to my right brain to have the personal satisfaction of seeing things accomplished and giving back to the community that gave me so much growing up. Someone asked me once, do you think that Shinston would have been so successful had it not been for the Blueprint Project? And as much as I think the Blueprint Project was a catalyst for revitalization, I don't want to sell Shinston short, because I do think that they had the administration in place to want to do wonderful things, but Blueprint certainly was the catalyst. It gave a focus, it gave a strategy, it trained our Blueprint Communities team in community development and community revitalization so that we were all on the same page. It gave us tools. It helped us develop a strategic plan. And in fact, our strategic plan was so successful that not only did we win an award from the Blueprint Communities project, but the City Council adopted it just as their goals for the coming year when we first kicked off Blueprint. And now we had actually 7 themes and about 30 goals actually in that strategic plan. Well, recently, and in fact as recently as last night, we had a meeting and we have to develop a whole new set of goals, because we've almost accomplished every single one of those in our strategic plan. We're featured on our local news channel out of Clarksburg on ongoing green segments that highlight our cleanup efforts in the town, and the other ways, like we use solar panels on the restrooms at the activity park is another way that we're being conscientious in when we do our revitalization. So we're a Make It Shine community for the state of West Virginia, so we have all of those initiatives going as well, and even some of the bigger projects. Like one of the bigger projects in our strategic plan was to develop senior housing. And that is definitely a high-hanging fruit, to think that we could actually bring some sort of a housing complex, because Shinnston is an older community. So we knew we had a need for some place for the seniors to go. But in talking with some developers, and the developer was actually able to go to the Federal Home Loan Bank and receive some funding, and there is a new senior housing complex currently being built. So that was just one of our accomplishments. We thought, wow, that's 5 or 10 years down the road, but was actually accomplished in 3 years. All of the negative connotation about West Virginia, that we're hillbillies and that we're hicks and that we are barefoot and we have no teeth, and all of the perceptions. In fact, there was one on a national TV show just a couple weeks ago, Three Rivers, which is a new show out of Pittsburgh, and they were really coming down hard on Wheeling, which is 10 air miles away from Pittsburgh, and saying about how backwards. So that perception still exists even in 2009. So we just have this can-do spirit, which sounds very cheesy and very Pollyanna, but it's true. Anyone that is raised in West Virginia or has any connection to West Virginia knows that we're very hardworking, we're very proud. We know that we're not going to rely on outsiders to come in here and revitalize the community, that if we want to do it, we got to do it ourselves. We're one of the few banks that actually has a very focused community development department, especially of a bank our size. We're about $5 billion, so normally you don't see those until you get to the larger, more national banks as a focused community development effort. But we're very proud of what we do in our communities, because we know as a bank that if our communities are not strong, that it's a good indication that our bank will not be strong. So if the bank wants to be strong and survive in a community, we have to make sure those communities are revitalized, and it's our responsibility to give back. We have a strong network of doing community service, throughout the 3 states that we operate on. Our employees do 10,000 hours or more a year of community service in financial education, foreclosure prevention, sitting on boards of hospitals and nonprofits, and giving back to their communities. So hopefully that will give another face to the banker that they hear in the news that was responsible for all of the mortgage crisis and the financial crisis that we're going into now, that hey, we're not like that. We're a community bank. We care about our community. We're committed to making sure that our communities are strong and thriving, and we're going to do what it takes to get the communities there. Bankers are not the bad guys. Bankers, community bankers, are out there caring about the community, revitalizing the communities. We want our communities to succeed, and we have as much passion about our communities as we do about all of the other industry speculations that we've been saddled with, as far as are we doing subprime mortgages? But yeah, we're the good guys. We want to do revitalization in the community. But on a personal note, I want to share with everybody, or people to take away, that it is possible to revitalize your town, and all you need truly is the passion. And once you get that passion and you get the group of people together that are willing to do it, then go out and find the resources. Educate yourselves, know that where the resources are, train, get yourself on the same page, and you can do it.